Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of Collider Games Podcast. My name is Dennis Zen. I'm here in studio with...
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Dorian.
And joining us via Skype, we've got Caboose right here in the middle between me and Dorian. This way.
Yo, what's going
this
on?
way, yeah.
What's going on? Happy to be back.
Yeah, me and Caboose just hopped off playing a bunch of Red Dead Online, which we're going to talk a lot about. But let's first talk about what we're playing. I know, Dorian, you're playing some Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I played. Wendy brought in her Switch yesterday, so we got to play a little bit of Pokemon Let's Go. I think she has the Pikachu one, which was dope because it was reminiscent of Pokemon Yellow, the old school, the very first generation Pokemon game. So I love that. And the only thing I didn't really like is that if you find a wild Pokemon, you can't battle them. You have to have the perfect timing. So it kind of is like the mobile version for Pokemon Go. It's kind of like that for wild battles. But when you go off and do trainer battles, and that's when you'll actually be able to use your Pokemon to fight them. So I'm excited about it. Once I finally got to play it, now I'm really wanting to get a Nintendo Switch, but I got to prioritize and get Red Dead first, then the Nintendo Switch, and then Pokemon Let's Go, and then Super Smash.
Okay. Well, anyone watching the YouTube version just saw my eyes glaze over when you talked about Pokemon.
You don't understand.
I have no idea what battle trainer this or that or no idea.
You missed the whole Pokemon way. You got to.
That came
not
after.
Too late. It's not too late.
I'm an older person, so. That was after my time, and I know there's Frank got a different version.
Yeah, so there's two versions. There's Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and then there's Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. So if you pick Eevee, you get him or her as your starter. Pikachu, him or her as your starter. But the thing is, you can't evolve those. You can't evolve them, and evolving means they go into a different stage. And once you get to another level, I'm giving all Dennis Pokemon vocabulary.
Eyes glazing over.
But yeah, so you get to pick those as your starters, and then you get to catch other Pokemon that can evolve. But those two can't evolve because they're I don't know. Wendy didn't explain that to me, but yeah, you get to keep those two. Okay,
so maybe we'll do a review. Wendy, and Frank when Frank gets back from shooting a secret mission project that we have going on here at Collider. So maybe after that, you guys can get together and do a little review.
Yeah, we need to get more. We need to get more Nintendo Switch coverage in here.
Definitely. I personally have not been playing a lot of games because we had the Thanksgiving Day break. If people don't know, we posted our Color games early last week. I think we did it on Wednesday, and then it was gone the whole weekend. So I didn't touch my game console until today.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, me and Caboose started to play Red Dead Online. I haven't played anything since I left, we were on here, except for today, which we'll talk about. Caboose, have you been playing anything else besides Red Dead Online?
So yeah, outside of Red Dead Online, which I have been marathoning a little bit, I played a little bit of Fallout 76. I know we got to get some game time into that, and then I still jump into Fortnite every now and then. They're updating that game every single week, so there's always something new to check out. And it's always got an interesting competitive scene, too. So I always keep an eye on Fortnite because I do enjoy it.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's talk about the big thing this week, Red Dead Online. The beta, it's a public beta. It's not like, they're testing things out. Sure, they're testing things out, but everyone gets to play. Kind of. So as of right now, I was able to hop on, I think, starting yesterday. You were able to hop on starting Tuesday, right?
Yes, yeah, that's right. So Tuesday was available for Ultimate Edition owners, although the Xbox servers were a little messed up earlier in the Tuesday, but later after, in the evening, Tuesday it became available. And then Wednesday and Thursday, I think Wednesday specifically was for people who got it on launch day. And then Thursday is for people who got it within the opening kind of weekend. And then tomorrow, Friday, it's available for everyone. So if you own Red Dead 2, you'll be able to play online.
So we'll find out tomorrow if the servers can hold. And so let's start off with the gameplay. So I tried to play this yesterday. So I rushed home. We had the Avengers screening, Infinity War screening with the Russo brothers, which is awesome, by the way. Sorry, Caboose. But I ran home specifically so I could play online because I knew that I was going to come back late from that screen and I wasn't going to play it at night. And then I wanted to play it a little bit before I knew you were playing it so that we could talk about it on this podcast. And I purposely ran home. I had already pre-downloaded it because I actually pre-downloaded and they didn't let me play it because I wasn't an Ultimate, member or whatever the hell.
Right.
And then it starts off and it's like, oh, well, they give you a little story. So you have to like play like a 30 to 45 minute story before you can even start playing the online game.
Oh,
like
damn.
I was telling Caboose because I got him online on party mode. And so I was able to talk with him. I was like, okay, I'm starting. And like they literally giving this whole story of your character. And you build your character, which is fine because, you know, people want to do that. And then they put you in the story mode that leads you into playing. And my thought was, you already have this 60 hour plus solo game, which I think is absolutely fantastic. I think is one of the best games ever made.
Yeah.
Why are you giving me more story? Like, I don't mind it. I love story stuff. It's just like, I thought I was just going to hop online and start playing. And I was like, and so it ended up, like, by the time I was like, actually, I was almost done with like the story part of the online mode, I had to go. And, you know, we did the Avengers thing. Luckily, today we were able to play, like literally played for an hour and then came on and talked to you about it. So I know you've played a lot more than me.
Yeah.
How are you finding the online beta?
Yeah, so I've been enjoying it. I do understand where you're coming from. Like, you just played through so much of the main story, and it's like you just want to jump online, and like you already know everything, you know? So I think the most annoying part was that they basically bring you through another tutorial again. And the hardest thing to adjust to right now is after beating Red Dead 2, like having all the money that I have in the game and all the best horses and everything, you're basically starting all over again when you jump into Red Dead Online. So that is obviously the most frustrating thing. But I mean, I can't really blame Rockstar for that. That's the point. You're starting a brand new character. But outside of that, I like it. So my first impressions video was pretty bare bones. I didn't play too much. I just kind of got a basic idea of Red Dead Online. And after playing it today with you and I got a little more extra game time, it's really starting to concern me. Some things are really starting to concern me in terms of how much things cost in the game versus how much it were to cost for you to sell stuff. You don't really earn a ton of money very quickly. There's 2 different types of currency systems, so it's a little bit confusing. And yeah, from what I can tell, it's looking like it's treading that territory that GTA Online did, where everything that is cool is ridiculously overpriced. So they just kind of incentivize you to just pay your own money and get the in-game cash. Granted, you can't do that right now. There are no microtransactions because the game's in beta. So on top of that, you literally can't pay to win. You just gotta struggle and keep grinding through missions or whatever the showdown series to try and get some cash and get a cool outfit or something, you know? Like, the hair system doesn't work like it does in the main game. You don't grow a beard. You can't trim your beard or anything. Like, there are just certain hairstyles or beard styles which aren't all that great. So there are some things that are really concerning me the more that I'm starting to uncover with GTA Online. But I will say, like, playing with you, Dennis, in the time that we did, it was fun.
Yes.
I had a lot of fun with that. So maybe that'll be enough for me, but I don't know. I'm worried is all I have to say.
Oh, and Caboose, I saw on your first impressions video, I saw a bunch of the comments were saying like a lot of the people were upset that there weren't too many different voice tones that you could switch to.
Yeah.
Did that bother you at all?
There's no voice.
Oh, there's no voice.
Your character has no voice. Once again, I had a feeling this was going to happen. Your character didn't have a voice in GTA Online. I was just hoping maybe Rockstar would step it up, and especially because they're actually telling a bit of a story here, and you're interacting with more characters throughout this story. It just feels so awkward when I'm just standing there and my character's like, just nodding his head.
We can see what you did, Caboose.
I know you can see it. Everyone who's watching can see it. If you're listening on the podcast, I was just nodding my head. That's all your character does. Is people just talk to you and you nod your head the whole time. So I wish they would have given us like maybe 1 or 2 voices to choose from. On the female and male side. Yeah,
I think I know why they didn't. Was because it's part of why I think the online is, even though it's in beta still, is much more robust and more of what I wanted Fallout 76 to be. You can play these kind of story missions together.
Yeah.
And the cutscenes happen, which I don't know why they don't do this in Fallout with when you talk to NPCs or they don't even really have that many NPCs at all. So when they go to cutscene, they show your character and your friend's character that you're playing with. So I saw Caboose's character and my character in the same cutscene. They're talking to it. So I think the issue is making. If they got one person to do like the voice, then your character's voice would sound like my character's voice. So I think that might have been an issue. And then of course they could have spent more money and hired more people, and maybe you could pick out of 5 different voices what you wanted. But I think that just ultimately it was just too messy for them. But what I liked was the cutscenes. We both were watching the cutscenes at the same time. We could choose to skip it if we wanted to. It's like a voting system, which also when you do missions together, when you can choose like, okay, do you want to kill this guy, or are you going to let him go, or whatever, you rob him? You do a group choice in your posse, which that's what I wanted Fallout 76 to be, was this kind of group thing where like, hey, you're playing the game together, where I think Fallout 76 is just, it's too loose, it's too barren. I'll say this, we played I'm going to discount the story mode aspect of it, because that was basically a mini version of what the solo game is. But the online, we played about an hour. I had more fun playing in an hour than I did I don't know, 7 or 8 hours that I played in Fallout 76 because of the way that it's constructed. It's, even though, like I said, it's not polished yet in terms of it's like still a beta. Yes, there are probably a lot of stuff they need to fix, but it's more polished than the finished Fallout 76 game. I'm telling you, I think Fallout 76, if they had just spent a year more of just developing it and fine-tuning it, I think they could have gotten it to a place where it would have been a pretty good game. As of right now, it's a half-baked thing, where this Red Dead Online isn't half-baked. Yes, there are some issues, and I haven't come across the money thing yet that Caboose is talking about, just because I haven't played it long enough. And Fallout 76 even has that. They have the two, you get caps in-game, but then also you can buy atoms, that's when you spend money to get, whatever, specialty items and costumes and whatnot. But I like this direction of Red Dead. Before we weren't actually in the same game, but we did the horseback kill challenge, which is kind of, if you accept this challenge, you all kind of get together with like a bunch of people who agree to do it, and you just kill each other, which Fallout 76 doesn't have, because they dissuade PvP. So I'm thinking Fallout 76 needs to do a bunch of tweaks. I think they need to allow PvP, and just, I don't know. There's just a lot of work they need to do, but I enjoyed so far what we've been doing. There's probably, more issues with it than I can say right now, but because I just haven't played it that much. I mean, how many hours have you logged, Caboose?
Probably like 4 or 5 total. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think this is going to influence Fallout, like the Red Dead Online? Do you think that it's going to influence Fallout to like maybe like take a step back and be like, their online beta is doing better than our current version? Like, maybe we need to, like you said, just do a bunch of tweaks, maybe do some updates, do something to get those fans back. Because right now, it just seems like I personally on social media have just seen the hype for Fallout 76 just plateau.
It already was going uphill battle with coming out a month after Red Dead. Actually, it was maybe 3 weeks after Red Dead, and that was already uphill battle. And then not being good. That didn't help, right? If you're going to fight, that's the thing, is if you're going to be the underdog, you've got to come,
with all the fire. You can't get half-baked,
Yeah, and so it didn't, and it's just getting, and we'll talk about another story later on in this episode about Fallout 76, but just overall, they should have, I just know when they announced it at E3, I was like, okay, I expected it to come out next year. And they're like, this fall. I'm like, I was happy, because I was like, we get it sooner. And then now that we did get it sooner, I'm like, no, they should have waited. But so far, Red Dead Online, having a lot of fun with it so far. Even more so, I played the first one, the online version, but I mean, this was a generation ago. How many years has it been? Like 8, 9 years since the first Red Dead?
8 years.
That was a different time. That one, I know a lot of people had fun with it. It was empty. It was a lot of empty stuff. Like that actually felt more like Fallout 76, where it was like, cool, there's some stuff to do, but like there was areas that weren't completed that they completed as the weeks and months went by, and I think with their posse system I think this is going to be a much more robust system. They learned a lot from GTA 5, and I think they're going to learn a lot more. But I mean, also with Dorian saying with Fallout 76, people are going to, like myself, I have Fallout 76, I have Red Dead, I still need to finish the main mission, which is super long. But let's say I'm in the mode for multiplayer. Well, I'm not going to be hopping on Fallout 76 because I'm having a better time with the Red Dead Online. So I'll just be like, hey, Caboose, you want to hop on Red Dead? And then we'll go and play some missions.
Like y'all making, like when I asked y'all first impressions for the beta of Fallout 76, I was completely turned off. Like, yeah, I'm definitely not going to try to do that online stuff. But y'all's impressions from this is definitely making me like more excited to, once I do finally get Red Dead within the next few weeks or so. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I'll get it eventually, sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, if I finished the main mission, I'd let you borrow. But now with the online, I need to play it. All right. Anything else you want to say about the online beta, Caboose?
I got a chance to play the battle royale.
Okay, tell us a little more about that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's nothing traditional from the battle royale genre, and it's honestly just there. Like, they don't make a big deal of it. It's just one of the many different modes you can play in the Showdown series, and I believe it's called Make It Count. You're put in a little area, and very similar to most battle royale games, the area starts to shrink. You have one life, last person standing wins. But the twist is there are two different variations of the mode. One where you only have a bow and arrow, and one where you only have throwing knives. It's one hit kill, so if you get hit with a throwing knife, you're done. If you get hit with a bow, you're done. You only have like 5 bows or 6 throwing knives. You got to loot the person you killed in order to get that throwing knife back. So it's pretty cool. It's nothing like insane, but it's fun. Like it's there. They have a battle royale mode.
Can you explain the Showdown series? Because I saw that in the choices. They have free roam. Right. They have free roam in different areas. What is the Showdown series, and what does it consist of?
So the Showdown series is basically like their multiplayer modes. So you'll have like a team deathmatch sort of thing, or just different sort of free-for-all modes and stuff where there just is a certain objective and you can get a cash payout at the end of it. It's actually a pretty good way to make some money in GTA Online, and there are some fun game modes. There's one called Most Wanted where it's just free-for-all. You get a couple of kills, and as you get kills, your value of like who you are goes up. So let's say like I get 3 kills in a row, my value goes up to 7. So when someone kills me, they get 7 points. And then this just keeps fluctuating constantly throughout the game, and the person with the most points wins the game. It can actually get a lot of fun when you're like, you could be down 40 points, but that could be just 2 high value target kills to get right up to the first place. But there's a ton of different modes. Team modes where there's like 4 different teams facing off against each other. And it's fun. And I believe there's also a race series as well where you can race with horses. I haven't touched it, though.
I think they had that in the first game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah. It's just racing. Racing is a lot more fun in like GTA when you have cars and stuff, and you can like slipstream and all that. But with the horses, it's just more difficult because you can crash into someone with your horse and just go flying. So I don't know how exactly it works. I haven't touched it yet, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, much like my car racing video game skills, which suck.
Oh, hell yeah.
My horse racing isn't too much better, so I probably will not be participating in that. All right, let's move on to some other news or rumor that Caboose, you posted a video on. Maybe you can tell us a little more detail about this Superman from Rocksteady Games, who, obviously people know from the Arkham series. It's been long rumored. Why is this kind of more credence to this rumor?
Right. So this has been long rumored for a long time that Rocksteady is apparently working on a Superman game. But all the time, like a lot of the leaks that have come out have been just anonymous sources on forums and stuff. But this time, this website known here as Game System Requirements put up a listing for a Superman game called Superman World's Finest. And it's mentioned that the developer is Rocksteady Studios. Now, normally a lot of people wouldn't give this credit as well just because it's a random site. Nobody's really heard of it. But supposedly this same site put up a listing for Devil May Cry 5 a month before that game was announced at E3. So that's why people are starting to maybe give this a little more credit. Jason Schreier over at Kotaku is still saying that it doesn't look like Rocksteady's working on a Superman game. However, just we'll see. The Game Awards is next week. And if this listing is going up and if it's true, then we could see it revealed as early as the Game Awards.
Interesting. And I'm always been fascinated with because I've finished and played all of the Arkham series, but I've played enough to know the game mechanics and how it fits with Batman, and translating to even though Spider-Man is by Insomniac Games, the game mechanics, they work together, right? I mean, obviously Spider-Man, you can you swing around on your webs, and Batman uses his grapple gun. It's very similar. Superman is not similar. He is not grappling. He doesn't need he's flying around. Also, the type of enemies he's not fighting like a bank robber, right? Like he fights a bank robber, you can smash him in like 2 seconds. So they need to figure out how this game mechanic works. They can't just do obviously with the Spider-Man PS4 game, they were like, okay, we can model this after the Arkham series. Rocksteady can't model their Superman game after if they are doing one after the Arkham games. It has to be different. So
it has to be.
Got to be switched up.
Yeah, because I think me and Caboose, I don't know if it was with you, but we were talking about how when Spider-Man punches somebody that the opponent's using a cane to block, but realistically, there's no way if Spider-Man really wants to punch somebody, it would just knock them straight out. So you have Superman who's far stronger. Yes. It's you got to figure out who's going to be fighting the rookie, not the rookies, but the average enemies that you'll see constantly throughout. You got to figure out something where it makes sense, and just him flying around, gliding, and all of that, they got to figure that out. But if they are able to successfully do it, then I'm super excited for it, because it's probably the closest thing we'll get to seeing Superman on any type of screen anytime soon. So hopefully they get it right, because I would love to have an open world Superman game, flying around as Superman, because I was swinging for hours with Spider-Man, so I would definitely just be flying around as Superman, just trying to fly through buildings, destroy people, maybe snap people's necks with Saw. But we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely.
Developer. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go for it.
If there's any developer that I would want to be working on this game, it would be Rocksteady. Okay. Just knowing those guys and everything that they've done with the Arkham trilogy, the passion that they have for comic books, and specifically for what they had for Batman, I'm sure they'd be able to translate exactly that with Superman, and they would take care of that character and do him justice. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. It would be a tall task. And if this game does exist and it's being worked on by Rocksteady, I'm sure they'd be able to make it happen and make it work. The best way to do it is maybe citizens in the city get infected with some sort of kryptonite disease, and that underpowers Superman in some way. I don't know.
Yeah, and if you Caboose, if you had to pick the main villain for the whole story, who would you pick?
Oh, I would go Brainiac.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking about Lex Luthor, but I see that.
Yeah. I mean,
I would go Brainiac, set it up for Lex Luthor or something for the next game.
Yeah. All right. You guys, anything else to say about the Superman possible game rumors?
Release the Zack Snyder cut.
Why you got to stoke the fire? So why you got to trigger the fanboys?
Oh, man.
All right. So let's move on to the next topic. We've got BioWare teasing another Dragon Age game, though we don't know if it's the next installment. It could be a mobile game. It could be something else. I don't know. First of all, do any of you guys play? Have you guys ever played Dragon Age?
I have not.
Caboose?
No, I have not either. No.
Okay. Have you guys played Mass Effect?
No.
That's a negative.
Okay. So, anyways.
over here.
Knights of the Old Republic. Have you guys played Knights of the Old Republic?
No.
Okay. Anyways.
Wait.
No, that's an old school RPG. So basically, BioWare they're two. Basically, BioWare became famous because they did the first Knights of the Old Republic back on the first Xbox.
Yeah.
And they wrote a really great story. And this is all before Disney bought Star Wars and everything, and the canon was kind of a mess. People could just make any stories that they kind of want. Well, not any stories, but you know what I mean? They didn't have to connect. And they made this awesome story with lots of lore and history. Honestly, it's one of the best Star Wars stories ever told. And they did that game. And later, they kind of they didn't do the second one, which actually the next topic, where the next company that we're going to talk about in the next story actually did the second one. They went on to create 2 other franchises that basically took the same format, the way that you know how Joey got all criticized when he's like, oh, Red Dead's a GTA clone.
Yeah.
Even though he used the wrong word clone, I know what he meant. They took the game mechanics and they tweaked it obviously and so they took the same game mechanics, the same kind of game design as the Knights of the Republic, and they used it for 2 different games. One being Mass Effect, which was their sci-fi one, and one for Dragon Age, And this is just kind of like an RPG where you're a guy, and then different than something like Skyrim or Fallout or whatever, you form like a group. So you have your main one guy, and then you can kind of, as you play the story along, you pick up companions, which you can do in Fallout, but it's different. You only get one at a time. You posse up with like 2 other characters, and you can mix and match, and they're always available to you. And actually, the dialogue changes depending on who you got. And you go through the stories, and it's third person, kind of like a Red Dead or Grand Theft Auto versus first person, and there's RPG elements, action adventure elements. Anyways, so they have a Mass Effect one and they have a Dragon Age one, and the last Dragon Age game, it came out on both the current generation, which is Xbox One and PS4, and it also came out for the previous generation. That was like when the new generation still hadn't overtaken like Xbox 360 and PS3, so there was actually more people playing those games, so they kind of released it on both platforms, thereby kind of limiting the graphical capabilities because they didn't want it to be so that they couldn't play it on those older systems. So that was the last time there was a Dragon Age game, and so they're kind of teasing that there's going to be a new game, hopefully, but my thoughts with that is it's getting close to the next generation, right? So if they are working on something like that, if it is the full-blown RPG and not some sort of like, I don't know, mobile game or some sort of, I don't know, something that deviates from the franchise, will they announce it for the next generation, or are they going to still keep it on the current generation? So,
do you think they would possibly do both again, like how they did with
possibly double dip?
But
that's probably what we will get with a few games when the new generation of consoles come out, is like a couple of launches. They'll launch on the Xbox One and the PS4, and then as well be on the brand new consoles. And then maybe a year or 2 after those new consoles are out, things will start to fizzle out again for the PS4 and the Xbox One. So I can see if they reveal a new Dragon Age game that they'll probably just say something like coming soon, and they won't give you any more information on that, and maybe launch it with the next gen, because that's also the rumor that's happening with this Superman game, is that Rocksteady is hiring, and their job listing is for people who want to work on AAA games on the next gen of consoles. So a lot of games that are currently like in development are coming out, even games like Death Stranding or Ghost of Tsushima. Don't be surprised if they end up launching or not come out until those brand new consoles are out.
Interesting.
Side note, is the Star Wars games, are those on Game Pass?
Does Game Pass have 360 games?
Yeah, they do.
No. Well, actually, you know what? Actually, Knights of the Republic wasn't even 360. It was the OG Xbox.
Damn.
You can actually buy Knights of the Republic on your iPad and play it. I actually bought I actually bought it because the game itself, it's the first Xbox, so the graphics aren't that great. And then also the way that you can just kind of tap where you want your character to go.
Yeah, okay.
So it's very,
Wait, the one on the iPad, is that where, like, if they throw something, you have to, like, swipe, like, use the swipe button or draw a line to use the force and stuff?
No.
I'm thinking of another. Caboose, do you know what I'm talking about?
I think you're talking about, like, a straight-up mobile game.
I think it was maybe just straight-up mobile game.
Yeah, this one was they ported over the entire game and
made it work for mobile.
Yeah, made it work for mobile. So it's I think it's like $10 or something. I had bought it on the iPad, but then the problem was my iPad was older and I don't use it anymore. Also, it's, even though Mass Effect and Dragon Age are like real time in terms of the combat, that one was was actually turn-based. They made it look like it was real time because you could move your character around, but you still had to wait your turn to and you could like stack up like your attacks and then they would attack. So it kind of gave the feeling of real time when it was actually still turn-based. So I think people are less inclined to play that. So all right, moving on to the next topic, Obsidian, which I mentioned before. They actually did the second Knights of the Old Republic game, the Fallout. So next game after the one BioWare did, it received decent reviews. People said it was good, but not as obviously as good as the first original BioWare one. They also did Fallout New Vegas as well, which was the follow-up to Fallout 3, like a spin-off. So it goes Fallout 3, New Vegas, then 4. And the Obsidian team, I think, still has members of the original. I forgot what the name of the company is. I know it. It's at the tip of my tongue. That created the Fallout series, so they kind of have some heritage there. So they were recently acquired by Microsoft. Microsoft's going on this crazy. We talked about it, I think, last week about how. They hired some heavy hitters to do their initiative studios, which is like their not AAA but quadruple A studio. They've been picking up a bunch of smaller studios as well, and this is another one that they picked up, and they're announcing a game, or I guess or people are saying that they're going to announce a game at the Game Awards. I'm assuming because they were just recently acquired by Microsoft that this probably will be like on multiple platforms before, It's not like Microsoft's going to be like, no, you can't put it on the PS4. Like they still need to make money. They invested a lot of time and effort into whatever they're going to announce. They'll probably launch that for all the systems, and then they'll start working on whatever next generation console that I think Microsoft has not given up on this generation, but I mean, they're like, okay, we'll have a new Gears. We were coming out with a new Halo, but that's it. I think for like first party games on this generation, I think they're done. Yeah, I think they're focusing and putting all their
next gen.
Yeah, next gen, because they already know they lost this generation. Yeah, I mean, losing this generation, you're still making some cash, and you're doing.
And in all fairness, they have the most powerful console on the market right now.
Yes.
With the One X.
They're basically like they're the LA Lakers right now. So they know they're going to suck. They're not going to do too well this year, but they're like, all right, next year we got a stacked team. We just need to put the parts together, get the things in motion, get everybody on a routine, and then we're going to come out with some fire and destroy everybody once everything's all good to go. So that's kind of like where they're at right now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure whenever they launch the next generation, which is not going to be next year, I think they're announcing it in 2020 at E3. They're going to come with the first party games. They're going to be like, we got this game. They're going to have their Last of Us, their God of War, their Uncharted. You know what I mean? They're going to come out with all of their,
hope so. Yeah.
Because they need to, because they know that was the thing. Look, I have an Xbox. I don't have a PS4. I have a PS3. But the Xbox, for me, the interface is much better.
Oh yeah.
And the online is much better. You're paying for it, so it better be better. It's just easier to use. So I think in the next generation they'll keep that going, and then hopefully have some better games. Because with PS4 or versus PS4, Xbox just didn't have. They didn't have the first party support, or their own first party support.
And that was always a thing that kept me with Sony, is at first before the first party games, but also the free internet or free playing online. And then once they said, oh no, we're going to make you pay for it too. And then I got an Xbox, so now seeing the two on both online, I definitely prefer the interface and the Xbox one rather than the PS4. But of course, still got I love the original PS4 games better than what Xbox has.
So I don't own a PS4, but I have a PS3, but I never really played online. You have to pay now?
Yeah, you have to pay.
How much?
I think for the gold membership caboose, I could be wrong, but I believe it's like $59.99.
I think it's all the same as what you would for Xbox Gold. It's like all the same prices.
And then do you get free games like Xbox Gold?
Like you get one or two a month. Yeah. But basically, something like that. But I've seen the games that they give away on Xbox. They seem like better
I just got a Battlefield 1 on for Xbox.
Yeah,
Gold.
a lot better offers are being given out on Xbox, like in their free games with Gold than you would with I
think
with the PlayStation Plus
last
stuff.
month or the month before, I couldn't even remember, but they decided to finally give away for free Saints Row 4, the latest Saints Row, which came out like
I didn't even know.
a long ass time ago. It's like, why are you even? Nobody's even paying attention to this game.
Yeah, I've gotten like Tomb Raider, like the first rebooted Tomb Raider, for free on Xbox Gold, and a bunch of the Assassin's Creed game. Like they give legit AAA titles that just happen to be a year or two or three old.
And like they do on PS4, they do give away some like some decent games, but also the majority of them will be not first person games. It'll be like little mini games.
They'll do that too with Xbox. They'll mix in some
games,
they'll throw in some indie games, some cheaper games in there. But as I think you can also download Xbox 360 games they give for free.
Yeah. And I think I personally like more on with the Xbox is the Game Pass. That's really
What
cool.
are you playing on Game Pass? I know you downloaded
Fallout, and then I went back and downloaded the Tomb Raider game, and then there's a lot of classic games like Mega Man on there, which I've been just diving back into. I really enjoy that.
It's a really good bang for your buck.
Yeah, it is.
And spend your money on
if I had
Game
more
Pass.
time, I would get the Game Pass. Like if I knew I could spend, I don't have enough time just to play even these new games, but if I were just straight up only playing games and wasn't watching all these movies and TV shows, I would definitely get Game Pass because that's sounds like a great deal.
Yeah, because I haven't had time because of we're in the midst of all these new games coming out and everything like that. But once the holiday break comes around, I'm definitely just going to dive into all the games that I missed from not having an Xbox because they have a lot of that stuff. Because that's why I asked, because I'm pretty sure there are. I don't know if it's the Star Wars games you were talking about, but I saw like 3 or 4 different Star Wars options, and they had the Xbox.
They
360.
might have like Force Unleashed.
I think that might be.
Force Unleashed was on 360, so they might have the first and second one of those, and then it's interesting. And then you're playing Fallout 4, right? So that's 2 years old, a AAA title from 2 years ago that's on Game Pass. So
I'm pretty sure
that's
like
not too
Sea of
bad.
Thieves is on Game Pass.
Yeah, see, it is.
They got some like
all the Halos
games.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. That's
good deal.
That's a good deal. All right, let's move on. We mentioned this briefly. We're gonna talk about it more. Fallout 76. So to add more to the issues, look, in the scope of things, this is not a huge issue, but it's kind of, I don't know, indicative of what's going on right now with Bethesda and Fallout. And people know Fallout is my favorite franchise.
Oh yeah, you got all the Funkos and everything in your office.
It is still my favorite franchise, despite my lukewarm feelings about Fallout 76. This is just kind of adding on like to the problems, and I think kind of PR problems is that. So this is something I did not purchase because I wanted to purchase, but they ran out of them. But the Power Armor edition of Fallout 76, which came with the helmet, which you can talk into, it's $200, and it comes with a bunch of stuff plus the game, and it comes what they said was going to be a canvas West Tech duffel bag. You know, like a legit duffel bag, right? Because you're surviving, camping.
Yeah.
You know, it's like military, maybe not military grade, but at least wannabe military type of stuff. Instead, the thing came with a cheaper nylon bag. I don't know why this is just being reported now.
I understand that dude's frustration in GameStop now.
Yeah. So people were getting these cheap nylon bags instead of this canvas bag, and so people were mad. I mean, it probably, they're probably already mad because they're probably disappointed with the game, and they got this thing. And so, in order to kind of like, make the people who purchased this feel better, they gave them $5 worth of store credit, which is in Fallout 76 is atoms, not caps. Caps is like the in-game currency, and then atoms is like you can buy this item and whatever, this skin or whatever. They give $5 worth, and people are not happy because they're like, people are like, $5 can't even buy me the fake canvas bag inside the game, which is apparently $7. I can't believe that's $7. I don't get. Look, I'm not of the microtransaction generation. My thing was you buy a game, and then if you want to pay for a DLC, which is like a good significant addition to a game, you pay for that. That's it. You're not paying for like your character wear shoes. You're not paying for your character to wear a hat. You know what I mean? Like, I know this is like a big thing, you know, like probably in Fortnite and all this other stuff. It's just like, I don't play that game. So this to me, like if I had gotten that, I'd be pretty pissed off.
I would be too, man. Yeah, it seems like every other week there's something else with them. If I was a fault, like I don't understand where I couldn't understand, man. But got to give it up to you, Dennis, for being that passionate of a fan. But yeah,
I don't know what happened.
Pissed.
I don't know what happened. I think I don't know. They wanted to be ambitious, which was fine, but I think they overestimated what they could do in whatever amount of time they did. Yeah. They've never done an online game before, and so it's just they did Elder Scroll Online, which also did not receive the best reviews. And so,
well, I mean, yeah, if that didn't get the best reviews, and this is like your first real time like attempting something like that, why wouldn't you take the time and like, hey, maybe like if you get you're a month or two out and you're like, this isn't looking too hot, guys, like maybe we should push it back a little bit. No, man, let's just go for it. We got it. Like the fans will love it.
Yeah. But like even glossing over the whole issues with the gameplay, this is especially annoying because they clearly knew, because all the statements that's come out now, because they've responded to this, Bethesda and everything, is that, oh, hey, listen, we realized that the bag that we initially had marketed would be a part of this collector's edition was something that we couldn't afford to mass produce. So, like, they clearly knew that a long while before the game came out. Like, they did not, you know, it wasn't a day before Fallout 76 launched. They were like, you know what? I don't think we can do this. Yeah. Like, they knew for a while, and they decided not to tell anyone about it.
They pulled a fast one. They pulled a fast one on people.
Damn.
And I don't know if they expected people to just not notice, or if they expected people to not care enough. But
people care about that shit, man. People care about a lot of way smaller shit than that, man. So
yeah, that's $200 I'm spending on this entire package. I better get what I'm promised to get, you know. Yeah. So that's really, really rough. I don't know how to feel about that. I cannot believe that they didn't decide to just come out with a tweet and say, hey, we can't put the bag that we told you we would have been able to within this collector's edition, you know? That's frustrating. And a $5 cashback reward for the troubles? Come on.
Yeah, and also, like, why is the in-game shit so expensive? Look, and this is not just like a knock against Fallout 76, because I know this shit happens in like Battlefront and it's probably gonna happen to Red Dead, and like, what the fuck? Why does this shit cost so much? I'm giving my real money for, like, you know, my guy to change the color of his hat or something. Like, come on.
It's especially frustrating for Red Dead, at least for me, because there's all these reports. The game made $750 million within the first weekend of Red Dead coming out. How much more money do you need from us? You know?
Yeah. I will say this in Red Dead's defense. To me, the single player mission is worth $60 alone.
100%.
I do not. 100%. The online component is just an added bonus. Okay.
Fair enough.
And they're at least from what I can tell so far, their online bonus is a better game than the Fallout 76 full game, which you don't have a single player, you know, part of it. So but at the same time, I don't mind if they want to make some money or whatever. Sell some sell some mission packs or something. I'll pay for those, right? Like if you want to do some
single player stuff.
Single player DLC or even online stuff. Like, you know, you and me played a little side mission. Obviously, give the online players a taste of that. They play a little of that, and then do some more. Sell some more stuff. But sell me like let's say a 2 or 3 hour mission that you and me can play together online, you know?
Well, if it's going to be anything like GTA Online, that should be something to expect. GTA Online, they were updating a lot, and there were some cool updates. You know, one of the things they promised with GTA Online was heists. It didn't end up launching with GTA Online right away, but they did add heists in, and it became like this kind of fun thing. Mm-hmm. Again, it was like you had to invest a lot of money into GTA Online before you could do the really cool stuff. And that's what scares me about Red Dead Online is like there is some great potential there, and there are some fun missions to be played. But like if I want to have a good horse that will last me through a mission and not die out, or just not have enough stamina for me to get away or something, I need to spend a lot of money, and you don't earn as much as you have to spend. So that's just the scary part. But I do agree with you. The single player in Red Dead 2 is like, I would have spent $150 all over again for that whole thing, you know, because it was well worth the package.
Yeah.
And the online is kind of just an added bonus.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying.
It's a lot of fun. And like I said, like, I don't mind paying for extra missions or whatnot, but don't make me pay for what I believe should be, you know, come with the game in terms of like either gameplay mechanics, items, costumes, whatever. Like, I don't want to pay $10 for a feature to let my horse take a crap, right? Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not paying for that, you know? And like that part, I feel like if you want to give me more story, cool, I'll pay for that. So yeah, that's my feeling. I mean, I'm an old school gamer. You have to understand. I literally, when I was younger, a little kid, went to arcades that had Pac-Man there still, okay? And that was like not, hey, we're at a retro arcade Pac-Man. This is, no, the legit, this is the Pac-Man you're supposed to play. Like, this is not, you know, they're not like, hey, let's, you know, they have a lot of retro arcades now. You can go play those old school games and you drink some beer and have a good time or whatever. There was none of that. I was like, you know, however years old, 7, 8 years old. Okay. All right. Let's move on to Twitter questions. Dorian, what do you got picked out?
All right. So Mario PR05 says, what other DC superhero is perfectly fit for a video game style like a Spider-Man PS4?
So DC only.
Yeah, DC only.
Okay.
Green Arrow.
Green Arrow?
Green Arrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Green Arrow would be pretty cool.
Yeah, he's
100%.
The show is pretty much a Batman ripoff, so I could definitely see them doing that. For me, I'd probably be Static Shock. I mean, his name is technically Static, but people just know him as Static Shock. I could see him definitely, because Caboose, like, you know, I could definitely just, there's a little, like, you know, the disc he has, like I could definitely see him using that, flying throughout the city. That would be amazing. I definitely want a Static Shock game.
Flash could be a cool game. Like, if you get those game mechanics right about him, like using super speed and whatnot,
like slow motion and everything.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be dope.
Yeah. Racing through the city,
running up the walls.
Yeah, like all that stuff.
Dude, that would be sick.
That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, but before we move on, I forgot to mention this is the last week for our Xbox One X, the Incredibles giveaway, custom design. I'll throw up a picture right here. I'm gonna wave my hands right here because when I edit this thing, people will know, or I'll be able to put that picture up. But we're giving this custom designed Incredibles Xbox. It's celebrating the release of the Blu-ray and the digital that's out right now, which actually has a wonderful short film called Bow. And we're giving that away. Plus prize pack. What's in the prize pack?
We got Mrs. Incredible plushie. We got a Violet doll. There's a Mr. Frozone and Mrs. Incredible Funko. Like I said, they kept her thickness. There's just a bunch of stuff like that. And the cool thing about it is the giveaway ends on the same day as the Game Awards. So whoever is winning this is going to get a brand new Xbox, a Blu-ray DVD on the Game Awards day. So you're getting a new console to start getting some of those games at whatever games announced at the Game Awards. You can use your console for it.
Yeah, so if you see, if you're following Collider Games, it's Collider Gaming?
Collider Gaming, at Collider Gaming.
And you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, just retweet this podcast and you are entered.
Yep, and the pinned tweet for all the information, it's on our Twitter. It's going to be on the pinned tweet. So all you have to do is follow us on Twitter, and then you'll see all the information and enter. So last week, make sure to do it because you want to win all those prizes.
Yeah, and we'll pick one person at random. Man, Collider gives away some good crap, man. I think this may be the second. No, we've given away an Xbox. Okay, or we're giving away an Xbox One X. We've given away those Sea of Thieves packages. Do you remember those?
Oh yeah, that was a nice pack. They got like
a headset. It had a headset with a custom controller,
$100 gift
plus
card,
the game.
Yeah, and some Chips Ahoy cookies.
Yeah, we gave away that. Okay. we just had the Avengers screening for 4. That was free. People just entered and they got to go see Avengers 4, or not Avengers 4, Avengers Infinity War. No, we are actually, the Russo brothers said they would come back after Avengers Infinity War comes out and do another Q&A with Collider. So
Avengers 4.
Yeah,
yes,
Avengers 4.
Avengers 4.
I got to go then.
We got a Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse screening this coming Monday.
With and that's
free.
Another Q&A with the directors and the writers.
And Lord and Miller. What other free stuff have we given away?
We've given away some Call of Duty stuff a while back
Yeah.
for Black Ops, and
So hey,
no,
pay attention to the Collider Games channel. We got some
yeah, we
giveaways.
make it rain over here.
Giving away a lot of stuff. Too bad we can't enter.
Yeah,
into
because
any
all
of
those
these things.
Funkos and because Christian was mad that we couldn't. He was like, "Can we get some of that Incredibles merch?" I was like, "No, we gotta give it to the games fans. That's all them."
Oh man!
And now they have a Christmas bundle. Like, so if you don't want the plushies or whatever, you can give those to your family for Christmas. Just wrap them up, re-gift them, and there you go. You got new gifts for all your little kids and your family.
Yeah. So check out that. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our podcast. Let's move on to some more questions.
Oh, where did they go?
So the last one.
So here we go. Another question from Chris El Guapo. He asked, "What is the game that you've spent the single most hours playing? I'm both proud and ashamed at how much time I've spent on Skyrim."
Wait, what was the question? Sorry?
What's the game that you've spent the most hours playing?
Fallout. Well, it depends. Okay, if it's single player game, it's Fallout 3 because I played, I think, 80 plus hours on the single player. Then I bought all the DLC for that, which added another probably 20 hours or so. So probably over 100 hours on Fallout 3. But if I were to say game overall, the most hours, it'd have to be StarCraft, because there's no end to that game. You're just playing, versus the computer. You can play versus your friends. You can team up with your friends against other people online. So that was a game that we just played nonstop.
Damn.
For like a year, I think, nonstop, like every week, and our girlfriends were mad.
Damn.
It was during college, right? And so like, really, you would like hardly go to work, or sorry, you didn't have work, you had school. You go to school sometimes.
Yeah, nobody ever goes to all their classes in college. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, and then so we would just literally like wake up and play all day.
I think for
And
me,
then, yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's it.
I think for me, I hate to probably Overwatch. I've put yeah, I know.
What?
I know.
I did not know you were that into Overwatch.
I know. I played.
Hated a player.
It's probably Overwatch, and then I'm thinking probably either I spent a lot of time. Now I'm thinking about it. I spent a lot of time playing The Last of Us.
Okay.
The Last of Us.
So single player, Last of Us, the kind of multiplayer, then Overwatch.
And then one game on the PS3 I used to play a ridiculous amount is the PlayStation All-Star Battle. Have you played that?
No.
Where it's like
the Smash Bros version.
Yeah, it's like the Smash Bros versions of it's like we got Nathan Drake. You got basically all
Kratos
the PlayStation characters. I wish they would. I hope they do they should do another version of that maybe for the next gen, because that game was so much fun. That's probably the only game that when I did have a PS4, I went back and kept playing on PS3. What about you, Caboose?
For me, so if we're talking like if we're going to split into single player and multiplayer, single player, I think Red Dead 2. Like, no joke.
Oh, damn.
I have logged in a ton of hours on Red Dead 2. But if we're talking multiplayer, I don't know exactly how many hours, but I know for sure that the game I played the most and logged the most hours into was Destiny. The first one. Okay. Destiny 1, I was hooked. Every week I was doing the raid when there was the refresh and you can earn new items. Every new expansion that came out, I was right there trying to get all the new gear. I was playing that game constantly. I had like a consistent group of 5 or 6 people that I would always play online with. And then Destiny 2 came out, and I got bored of it.
Did you mention a single player game?
Yeah, Red Dead 2.
Red Dead 2. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's because I don't think you can compare the two, because one has an ending. You play it, you're done. I mean, obviously you can play it again if you want to, but multiplayer is if you calculate the hours, because you can just keep playing over and over and over again. So, all right, what's the next question?
Okay, the next question is from Christopher CWC. He asks, this is kind of what we're already talking about a little bit. He says, with the whole controversy surrounding Fallout 76, are you worried about other upcoming Bethesda published games
Bethesda.
like Bethesda?
Dave Batista.
Bethesda published games like Doom Eternal.
I haven't. People. I think someone yelled at me for not playing Doom in a long time. No, because Doom Eternal is just an iteration of an existing thing. They didn't. The thing with Fallout 76 is they were trying something new, and they just kind of, I think, out of maybe hubris, thought they could do it in a short amount of time. I don't know how long. It may not even been a short time, but they needed more time on it, and they didn't give themselves that window of time where something like no one's worried about Fallout 5. You know, like whenever they come out with Fallout 5, I don't think people are worried because that's the game they know how to do. They know how to do Skyrim, whatever the Elder Scrolls next game is going to be called. So no one's worried about that. What they're worried about is, okay, if they decide to take Doom and make it a single player campaign like RPG, and then that's when they might get worried. But no, I'm not too worried about that. I just think it'll be a long time before Bethesda tries another online series, and if they do, they'll spend a lot more time. I think they just wanted to get into the transaction game, which, like I said, I'm not all for. So everyone's trying to make that. You know what? They got a taste of that when they made Fallout Shelter, that mobile game. They made a ton of money off of that game. So
did you play that game?
Yeah, but I never paid for it. It's a free game. It's one of those like Sims type game where you have your shelter and then you build up your people and you build up your resources and what and then you get to a certain point and then it becomes like you can't keep up unless you pay. And I'm like, I'm not. I'd rather pay $10 for the game and just play it so straightforward, but they don't really give you that option.
All right. Tweet Joe Self asked, what is your favorite franchise?
I already mentioned Fallout. But you know what? See, I can't put Red Dead there because while I enjoyed the first game, it's not one of my favorite games ever. If Red Dead 3 comes out and it's just as good or better than Red Dead 2, then I could say Red Dead would probably be one of my, but because it's just the first one, I need at least 2 games in a franchise to be like in my top. I mean, Mass Effect is one of my favorite franchises. Dragon Age is close, but not quite there because the second game, I played some of it and it didn't, quite get me. Also, the first game wasn't as good as the Mass Effect game. So I'd say Fallout and Mass Effect, Red Dead and Dragon Age are up there. StarCraft, I think that's it for now. I mean, back in the day, Sonic the Hedgehog.
What about you, Caboose?
For me, I think like Red Dead is up there, just based on Red Dead 1 and 2. Okay. But my all-time favorite has got to be the Arkham games. Arkham Asylum was like that was an incredible experience. Arkham City before Red Dead 2 was probably my favorite game of all time. And although some people complain about Arkham Knight, I love Arkham Knight and I enjoyed the hell out of that game and the story was fantastic. And super underappreciated and super underrated is Batman Arkham Origins, which I personally think is the best written in the entire franchise of the Arkham games. So yeah, the Arkham franchise is for sure my all-time favorite.
For me, it'd probably be the Infamous franchise, and then also the Uncharted franchise. I love the fourth one and the last installment. Like, put it over the top for me. That's probably my favorite. And Overwatch, if we're counting that. I don't know if that's is that a franchise?
Yeah, not really. It's just one game.
Yeah, it's just one game. But I mean, they got like movies and animated shorts and stuff like that.
There's going to be another Overwatch, so I would. Yeah, it's gonna be a franchise.
As well.
Halo. The first Halo I played so many times. Yeah. That would probably be up there. I don't think it's the number one when we talked about hour counts, but it's up there.
Okay.
Yeah, Halo is definitely one of my favorite ones. Gears I didn't play enough of for it to be one of my favorites.
I could see Spider-Man becoming in my once we get another Spider-Man game. I could see that becoming a fan favorite of mine as well because the first one I just loved it.
Yeah. So yeah, down if you're on YouTube, why don't you post in your comments, post what your favorite franchise is of all time. All right, let's do one more.
All right. Schrader, I'm gonna just call you Grayson. You know you're at. He asked thoughts on any potential for WB's Harry Potter verse game at the Game Awards.
Like to show off some stuff. I maybe more so now that leak had come out.
Right.
When Joey was still here, we did a video on that where we talked about the video and we had watched it. So I think that'd be one of those things where they may want to, because people saw a bunch of grainy footage on a cell phone footage, that wasn't high quality, and people are excited about it. So I think it would be a good time.
I can definitely see it happening.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully, because it's like it's right around the corner, and they can ride the wave of Fantastic Beasts, and also try to get, because I know not a lot of people had the best reviews for Fantastic Beasts, so they can put a good taste back in those Harry Potter fans' mouths, so they can be like, all right, we're giving you something else, still in the Harry Potter universe. You can forget about
cool.
You can forget about it.
Yeah, it interests me. I remember talking about in that video and saying, like, look, I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, not because I don't like the franchise. I like it. I enjoy the movies. I don't read the books. I haven't gone to Potterland in Universal Studios, which, sure, if I go there, I'll definitely stop by. I probably won't know a single thing. Like, they'll be like, hey, that's the blah, blah, blah from this movie. And I'm like, I don't know. But I'm interested in the game because it is the type of game I am interested in, which is that kind of RPG, action adventure RPG, where you can build up your characters and there's a story, and there you can get different items and weapons and spells, and so that game interests me very much. So I hope they do release something, and you're right.
I think it will, because I mean, who knows? Maybe even that leaked footage was what they were prepping for a reveal at the Game Awards. So I could definitely see it happening. And yeah, I'm interested in it too. I'm not a Harry Potter fan by any means. I'm like you, Dennis. I don't hate it or anything. I've just never grown up watching the movies. But that little leaked clip, it looks cool. Yeah. And if the rumors are true, if it's going to be open world and everything, I'm super interested in that, and I'd be definitely down to play it. So I hope it gets a review.
Are you a Potterhead?
I'm not a Potter. I'm in the same boat as you guys. I'll see the movies when they.
Are we the only three? Because everyone else that I meet is a Potterhead.
No, I still haven't seen the second Fantastic Beasts.
I can't even tell you the number of the at the train station, and you go through that
the tunnel, the wall,
something
brick wall.
3/4.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Okay.
No, see, I don't.
There's a number. It's 6 4 3/4, whatever, and that's where you go in the wall, and that takes you to.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about, where they run in the wall, but I don't know the numbers or anything. I haven't. I'm not the biggest Potterhead, but I feel like if they can do this first game right and set up their own Harry Potter universe, I'm jumping into that, because what they could do is what they tried to do with the Fantastic Beasts franchise, which isn't working as well as they thought it would be, because of I don't know for what reasons they wanted to add stuff that wasn't canon, or I don't know, but they could definitely do it right, where you can have all these different sorcerers or whatever in this one universe, tell different stories within the game.
I will, when that game comes out and I get it and I like it, I'll bet you I'll remember more shit from the franchise because I played that game than watch the movie. Because other than Hogwarts and the three main characters and Dumbledore, I can't tell you the names of any of the characters at all. The teachers' names, the different locations they go to.
I know Patrono, that I know one spell. I don't know,
but I don't even know what that means. All I know is that they shoot some crap out of their wand.
If I was in,
dude, if the people in the studio right now could hear our conversation, they'd be flipping. I know, Wendy's a big Potter person, Roka and Riley, and
we're just destroyed. I don't have any interest.
If I was on the Showdown and Harry Potter came up on the wheel, I would be done for.
Yeah, me too.
Same.
Me too. All right, guys, that's it. Way to end our episode, Collider Games podcast. Always have a blast with these two guys, and sometimes we get Jack and Mark Fernandez in here as well. They're actually on their secret mission with Frank, who we mentioned before. So, Dorian, where can people find you?
You guys know the drill. You can find me on Twitter at Dorian Parks and Rec because Parks and Rec is better than The Office. And you can find me on Instagram at Dorian Parks.
And Caboose?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at CabooseEK, tweeting about the fact that Parks and Rec wouldn't even exist without The Office.
Bro, okay, but I'm talking about. You're talking about the Office, the U.S. version, not the UK version. Sorry, we're going on a whole nother tangent. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. You guys can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero, Instagram, Dennis.tzeng. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, Collider Games. Also, subscribe to our podcast network. We're on the Collider Factory feed. And make sure to check out all of the Collider properties, sports, videos, which is movies and television, podcasts, all that good stuff. And we will see you guys next time.